Hi, I'm Bridget, and thank you so much for joining me today for this 30-minute yoga flow. And we're going to get started today just sitting on the heels with the toes tucked under. So a little bit of a toe squat just to get that nice stretch through the soles of the feet. I really love this one. To just come to stillness, close down the eyes, check in with how you feel here. So this might feel like a lot through the feet. So anytime it feels like it's becoming too much, you can just lift the hips and take the pressure off the feet, but you should feel a really nice stretch here. You might like to give the shoulders a couple of rolls backwards and forwards. Take a couple of circles of the neck here. One way, and back the other way. And then bringing the head back to center. We'll take a couple more nice deep breaths here in stillness. Inhale, filling the body with air. Exhaling nice and slowly out through the nose. Inhaling. And exhaling, letting it go. One more nice deep breath. Exhale, let it go. And then we're going to make our way into our tabletop. So coming onto the hands and the knees, we'll stack the shoulders above the wrists, the hip points above the knees, maybe giving the feet a little tap. They should feel nice and stretched up and awake now. Nice and ready for our practice. Getting nice and flat through the spine here. So drawing the belly button back up towards the spine, flattening out, draw the shoulders away from ears, spreading the fingers really nice and wide here and pressing down into all 10 fingerprints. From here, we're going to move through a few rounds of our cat and cow just to warm up the spine a little bit. So we're going to inhale, curl the tailbone up, drop through the belly, squeeze the shoulder blades back together and looking forward. Exhale, we draw the tailbone under, around through the spine and drop the top of the head down towards the mat. Inhale, curl the tailbone up, drop through the belly and maybe looking up here, draw the shoulders back. Exhale, we round through the spine and then just moving with your breath here. So taking it nice and slowly. I haven't found a good way to wear my hair, maybe a braid so that it doesn't get in my face all the time. Sometimes I wear it in a bun, but then when I lay back, it's just in the way as well. Moving with the breath, really slowing it down here. And we'll take one more round of breath. And then bring the spine back to center. We're going to tuck the toes under again here and then walk them back just like how we started. So bringing the hips back down onto the heels, getting nice and tall through the spine. We're going to flow with the breath, moving in and out of our lunges from here. So inhale, we're going to reach the hands up, lift the hips, step the right foot forward into our lunge. Nice deep breath here. And then we're going to step it back into our little squat. So bringing the feet back together. So if you can move really nice and slowly, you might need to, if you've got a wall nearby or something you can hold on to just to help you balance until you get the hang of it. Inhale, we're going to lift the hips, reach the arms up towards the sky and step the left foot forward into our lunge. Nice deep breath here. And exhale, we make our way back into our squat. We're going to take 2 more rounds on either side, moving with the breath. So inhale, step the right foot forward. Exhale, we bring it back. Inhale, we step the left foot forward. Exhale, stepping it back. One more on either side. Inhale, step the right foot forward. And exhale, we step the right foot back. Last time on the left side, stepping the left foot forward with an inhale. And exhale, stepping it back. Awesome. When you get back to your squat, we're going to find our child's pose. So I really like a wide-legged child's pose, so I'm going to bring the big toes together, walk the knees as wide as my yoga mat, sink my hips down towards the heels, so really drawing the hips down, and walk the arms out long in front of you, bringing the forehead down to the mat, and just connecting with the breath here. Breathing nice and slowly. Inhale, fill the body with air. Exhale, let it go. Breathing out any tension that you're holding. Taking one more nice deep breath. And then keeping the legs where they are, we're going to come back up onto the hands and knees to find out thread the needle. So I'm going to bring my left hand to the center of my mat here. Inhale, reach the right hand forward, and exhale, I thread it under, coming down onto the right shoulder. See if you can level out the hips when you get here. So you might notice that the left hip wants to kind of lift up a little bit and the right one wants to sink. We're going to just bring that left hand to the hips and see if you can level out. So checking in with the body. And then you've either got that left hand in front of you for support, or you might like to reach it up and over so you can really draw that left shoulder back. Reaching really nice and long with the right arms, trying to thread that right shoulder under. Nice gentle twist through the spine. And then bringing the left hand back to the mat. If it's not there already, we'll unravel and take it to the other side. So this time bringing the right hand to the center of the mat. Inhale, reaching forward with the left hand. And exhale, we thread it through. So check out where your body is in this pose again. So notice the hips, maybe bringing the right hand to the hips just so that you can feel them leveling out. Really reaching under with that left hand, trying to reach through, and then drawing the right shoulder back. Squeezing it back down as if you're trying to bring it down to the left shoulder blade. And then we'll bring the right hand back to the mat if it's not there already. Come back up into our tabletop. We'll realign the knees back underneath the hips, tuck the toes under, walk the hands forward about an inch or so, and then press to lift the hips into our first downward facing dog of the practice. You can pedal out the feet when you get there, so dropping one heel and then the other. Really seeing if you can press the chest back towards the legs, so nice and long through the spine, nice and long through the arms. You can give those knees a nice generous bend. Finding a little bit of movement. And then finding stillness for a breath. And then on an inhale, we're going to look forward between the hands, bend through the knees, and go for a nice slow walk up towards the top of our mat. Find your forward fold. Rounding through the head and the neck, give those knees a nice generous bend. Try and press the belly down towards the tops of the thighs, so really bending into the knees. You should feel a nice release through the lower spine. Give the head a little shake. And then nice and slowly we'll find our halfway lift. Inhale, we flatten out through the spine, hinging at the hips. Trace the hands up the front of the legs and really flatten out through the spine. Draw the shoulders away from the ears, breathing into the backs of the legs. And on an exhale, we find our forward fold. We're going to walk the feet in a little bit closer here. So bring the big toes together and just keep maybe a couple of centimeters worth of space between the heels. Maybe just 2. An inch of space between the heels. Maybe half an inch. We're going to find our chair pose from here. So we're really going to sink the belly down onto the tops of the thighs. So give those knees a real nice generous bend. You'll need to bend them so that you can get the belly down here. We're going to draw the fingers back towards the back edge of the mat and start to lift the belly away from the tops of the thighs, flattening out through the spine, but really sinking those hips back. And then on an inhale, we're going to reach the hands up in line with the body. Sinking into your chair pose. And then we'll see if we can start to lift the right foot away from the mat, cross it over the left and wrap it around. Balancing through that left leg here. Then we're going to step that right foot back to our high lunge. So see if you can keep that right foot away from the mat until you step it all the way back, reaching up into our high lunge. Find the breath here. Checking out where the body is in space. You might need to tuck that tailbone under a little bit here. So bend that back knee. Tuck the tailbone under, reaching up with the arms. And then on an exhale, we'll find our warrior 2. So pivot on that right foot, turn the outside edge of that right foot parallel with the back edge of the mat and reach the arms out long to either side. Warrior 2, nice bend into that left knee. Breathing deeply here. Again, see if you can tuck that tailbone under a little bit here, flattening out through the spine. Drop the shoulders. And then on our exhale, we're going to find our extended side angle. So bring the left elbow to left knee. We reach over towards the left with the right arm. See if you can flatten out through the body again here. So if you feel like you're rounding forward or backwards, see if you can bring the body into one line. Breathing deeply here. And then we're going to move into our triangle pose. So we're going to start to straighten through that left leg, drop the left hand down towards the mat, and then reach that right hand up towards the sky. You can bring that left hand to rest on the shin, down on your mat, or if you've got a block, you can bring the hand to a block. Flatten out through the body again here. See if you can bring it into one line. Then we're going to draw some nice big circles with that right shoulder. So on an inhale, we're going to reach forward again. Exhale, drop that right hand down towards the mat. Draw it back up and around. When you're reaching up, see if you can lean that right shoulder back a little bit. Exhale, we come down. One more circle just like that, with the right hand reaching all the way up towards the top edge of your mat. And then back down. Inhale, we come all the way back up and we find our extended side angle again. So bring the bend back into that left knee. We're reaching forward with the right arm. And exhale, we turn to look down at that left foot. Frame the left foot with the hands, and then we step the left foot back to meet the right in our plank pose. Holding here for just a breath. And then exhale, we shift the weight forward and exhale to lower all the way down to the belly. On an inhale, we'll find our cobra pose. So pressing into the palms, pressing into the tops of the feet. We press to lift the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades back together. And exhale to lower. You can either come up through your tabletop or up through plank pose. So pressing back up onto the hands, and then we press the hips back into our downward facing dog. Pedaling out the feet, find a little bit of movement here. And then we find stillness. Maybe closing down the eyes. And then when you're ready, we're going to inhale, look forward between the hands, bend the knees. Go for a nice slow walk up towards the top of the mat. We find our forward fold. So hinging at the hips, give the knees a nice bend. Breathing into the backs of the legs. Give the head a little shake, really rounding forward. And then on an inhale, we'll find our halfway lift. So trace the hands up the front of the legs, flatten out through the spine, draw the shoulders away from the ears. And exhale, we round it forward. We're going to walk the big toes together again. A tiny bit of space between the heels, and then we sink the hips back, bring the belly to the tops of the thighs. We reach the hands back towards the back edge of the mat, and then on an inhale, we reach the arms forward, flatten out through the spine, lifting through the chest, sinking back into your chair pose. Taking a nice deep breath here. And then let's see if we can lift that left foot away from the mat, cross it over the right and wrap that foot around, sinking into your chair pose here, balancing into that right leg. Then we're going to see if we can step that left foot back, so unraveling, step that left foot back into your high lunge. See if you can keep the left foot away from the mat until you step it back into your lunge. Checking in with the hips when you get there. So tucking the tailbone under a little bit, nice bend in that back leg, and a nice generous bend into the right knee. Reaching up towards the sky. And then on an exhale, we'll find our warrior two. So pivot on the left foot, turn the outside edge of that left foot parallel with the back edge of your mat. We reach the arms out long, looking past those right fingertips. Check in with the hips here, drop the shoulders away from the ears. And then we'll find our extended side angle. So bring the right elbow to the right knee, reaching over towards the right with the left hand this time. Find the breath, maybe looking up. And then we'll transition into our triangle pose. So start to straighten into the right leg. Drop those right fingertips down either to the mat or to that right shin. And then we reach up with the left hand. Flattening out through the body here. So you might need to shift the hips forward a little bit. Draw the chest back. Keeping those shoulders in line with the legs. And then we'll draw those three nice big circles on this side. So inhale, we reach forward. And exhale as we bring the hand down, right down to the mat. Back up and around as you inhale. Exhale to come down. And then one more nice big circle, just like that. Really seeing if you can lean that left shoulder back. And then all the way back up into our triangle pose. We'll make our way back into our extended side angle. So bend into that right knee. We bring the right elbow back to the right knee and reaching forward again. Check in with the shoulders, making sure there's a bit of space between the ears and the shoulders. So drawing them down. Pressing the hips forward. And then slowly shifting the gaze to look at that right foot. We bring the hands to frame that right foot and then step it back to meet the left. We find our plank pose nice and strong here. Nice long line from the top of the head right down to the heels. And then we shift the weight forward and exhale all the way down to the belly. Inhale, we find our cobra pose. Press into the tops of the feet, pressing into the palms to lift the chest. We draw the shoulders back. And exhale to lower. we're going to make our way back into our child's pose from here. So bringing the knees together, the toes together, and then pressing the hips back down towards the heels, reaching the arms out nice and long in front of you. Closing down the eyes, coming back to the breath. Really reaching through those arms. So nice opening through the side body, the shoulders. You might even like to bring the hands up onto the fingertips. And then slowly coming back up through tabletop. We'll make our way through seated. My knee just cracked. We're going to cross one foot over the other, walk it back to seated. I'm going to come this way on my mat. And then we'll find our half butterfly from here. So I'm going to send the right leg out at about a 45-degree angle, bring that left foot in towards the body, and then shift the body to face that right foot. Inhale, getting nice and tall through the spine, and exhale, we fold it forward over that right leg. Just letting the hands rest wherever's comfortable. You can round through the head and the neck, round through the spine. Find the breath here. Breathing into the backs of the legs. And then while you're still in this pose, we're going to bring the right hand to the inner side of that right leg. So just wherever's comfortable again. Then with an inhale, we're going to reach that left hand up and over, reaching down towards that left foot. So you can adjust that right arm to wherever feels best in this pose. Reaching all the way down towards the right toes, not left toes. Reaching with the left arm towards the right toes. You may be able to catch a hold of the toes here. Maybe closing down the eyes. And then really slowly bringing that left hand back to the mat. We come back to center and we'll take it to the other side. So we'll send the left leg out long this time, draw the right foot in towards the body. We shift the body to look at that left foot, and then with an exhale, we round it forward. Maybe closing down the eyes. Breathing into the side body, breathing into the back of that left leg. And then before we move from here, we'll bring the left hand to the inner side of that left leg. And we'll take a side stretch on this side as well. So inhaling that right hand up and over, reaching down towards the left toes this time. You should feel really nice opening through the right side body this time. Breathing into that stretch. And then we'll bring the right hand back to center, lifting back up. And we'll take a wide-legged forward fold. So sending both legs out this time. Inhale, we get nice and tall through the spine. Active through the knees, so almost drawing the knees back towards you and then drawing the toes up and back towards you as well. See if you can hinge at the hips for as long as you can. So rather than rounding straight forward, we'll see if we can send the chest forward for as far as you can. Bring the hands to the floor and just rounding forward now. You might like to stack the fists so that you can rest the forehead there. Breathing nice and slowly. Noticing how you feel. Keeping those toes drawing up. And coming back onto the hands. See if you can let the head and the neck come up last as you roll back up to seated. Bring the hands underneath the knees. We draw the legs back in towards us, and then we're going to make our way all the way back to lie down. Take your time to get there. And then we'll take our reclined pigeon. So cross the right foot in front of the left knee and draw the legs back in towards you. Nice and active through the feet here again, so drawing the toes back towards the knees. Try and keep those shoulders drawing down into the mat. Still slowing down the breath. And then we'll unravel and take it to the other side. So we'll cross the left foot in front of the right knee and then draw the legs in towards the body, really pressing that left knee away from you. Nice and active through the feet, drawing those toes back. And then unraveling. Keeping the knees bent, we're going to send the arms out into a nice big T shape and then draw the knees in towards the chest. On an exhale, we'll drop the knees down to one side. Seeing if you can keep the shoulders down on your mat. Nice gentle twist here through the spine. Keeping the breath moving. And then we'll draw the legs back to center. And drop them over to the other side. Keep those shoulders drawing down. Breathing along the length of the spine. And then coming back to center, we're going to send the legs out nice and long. So bring the feet back to the mat. Send the legs out long. You've got your arms beside you, palms facing up. Finding stillness in our Savasana. So readjust as you need to, so that you can come to a place of stillness for a couple of nice deep breaths. Really bringing the attention to the breath here so that we can be in the present moment, knowing that there is nowhere else that you need to be but exactly where you are right now. Letting the body melt down towards your mat with each exhale. And if you would like to stay in your Savasana for a little while longer, then you can pause the video here. Otherwise, we'll end our practice together, wiggling the fingers and toes when you're ready. Rocking the head side to side, just bringing a little bit of movement back into the body. You can gently bend into the knees and roll onto one side to make your way back up to seated. Just choosing a seated position that feels most comfortable for you. Getting nice and tall through the spine again here. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. You can keep the eyes closed or just soften the gaze. And then we'll take one last nice deep breath together to close our practice. So inhaling the hands up and overhead, bringing the palms together. Exhale, we bring the hands down to heart space and bow through the head and the neck. The light in me recognizes and honors the light in you. Namaste.